What is going on, everybody? We're going to go ahead and do the Week 16 NFL recap. Doing this at 2 o'clock in the morning. I got to hit the road at 7 a.m. to drive 9 hours, but I want to make sure I get this up for you guys. Let's start game. Thursday night game, Tennessee and Jacksonville. Wasn't anything too big or spectacular or crazy. I was actually expecting Tennessee to win. But Jacksonville came out and held on and did what they had to do. This stat line, Charlie Whitehurst looked good. I hope he gets some playing time next year. And Blake Bortles looked okay. Denard Robertson didn't play. Toby Gerhart did his thing. Todman. So that was the Thursday night game. Saturday, I didn't know that there were even Saturday games until I came home and saw that 2 more games have been played. Philadelphia and Washington. Philadelphia has been eliminated from the playoff chances. They just kind of let everything go. Sanchez threw the ball 50 times. He threw 1 pick. LaShawn McCoy, I think he had a fumble. He didn't crack 100 yards. Ertz, though, the tight end, was 15 receptions for 115. That's pretty crazy. Jeremy Maclin did good, but they weren't able to win the game. RG3, I mean, he managed the game well. He threw an interception. I think this is Alfred Morris's best game of the year. Deshaun Jackson had a good game. And the Eagles have been eliminated from the playoffs. San Diego and San Fran. I was watching some streams. I didn't even know the game was on. And people were like, damn, San Diego's getting blown out. So I didn't even bother watching it. I look at my phone and San Diego's slowly creeping back. I turn on the game and they end up winning the game. So we all know San Francisco can't make the playoffs. That saved San Diego's chances of making the playoffs. I think what do they have to do? Win and then hope for like 2. I don't know. They got some crazy scenario like San Diego always does. But they still do have a chance. Phillip Rivers threw 3 interceptions. Their rushing game was pretty much held intact. I mean, San Fran still has a good run defense. Kaepernick was okay. He didn't throw any interceptions. Frank Gore looked good. 30 rushes for 158 and a touchdown. Kaepernick had a rushing touchdown. Ellington had a rushing touchdown, but San Fran just couldn't hold it together. Harbaugh's not going to be there. I want him to stay in the NFL, but for some reason they're saying the only people, he has 2 choices to either go to Michigan or Oakland. Somebody out there is going to need a coach, and I see them taking him. Cleveland at Carolina. Fine. What did I tell y'all? I told y'all Johnny doing all that damn running. They're going to catch him, and he's going to get cracked. So he got pulled from the game because of, I think it's his hamstring. He's not playing next or this upcoming week in the last game. Hoyer's going to get the start again. I think the Browns are out of it because of this loss. The Saints are out of it too because of the Saints losing to the Falcons. And then a showdown between Atlanta and Carolina next week for basically a playoff spot because their records are so bad. Neither of them are going to make the wild card. So whoever wins the Carolina and Atlanta game next week makes the playoffs. For some reason, I think Carolina's going to do it because Cam Newton looks a little bit more. It's like the car accident kind of helped him because that time off, it looked like he was able to heal up whatever else he had going on. Cam Newton was 18 for 31 for 200 yards, a touchdown, and a interception. He had a rushing touchdown. Jonathan Stewart's been killing it. So, I mean, they're looking all right. Detroit and Chicago, man. Detroit, they held on again. Another team that's coming off with a showdown is Detroit and Green Bay. Detroit did what they had to do. Jay Cutler didn't play. They put in Clausen. I don't know what's happened to Forte, man. He has just been held in check lately. I don't know if it's the offensive line. But Alshon Jeffrey, he's had a great season. But the Bears, their season's done. Basically, I'm not highlighting any teams that aren't going to make the playoffs. The Lions, though, Stafford threw 2 picks. Joique Bell had a touchdown. Reggie Bush had a touchdown. Calvin had 100 yards rushing. So that's going to be a good showdown. Detroit and Green Bay next week. Houston and Baltimore. Houston kept a slim chance alive. I don't think that eliminated Baltimore, but they made it borderline impossible for them to make it. Joe Flacco threw the ball 50 times and threw 3 interceptions. They didn't have a rusher over 20 yards. Arian Foster threw the only touchdown pass for Houston. He also rushed for 96 yards. Case Keenum did okay, though. I mean, he threw 40 passes for only 185, but he played an okay game. Andre Johnson did all right. DeAndre Hopkins had a good game. Defense looked good. Minnesota and Miami. Minnesota couldn't hold on. Teddy was doing so good at the beginning of the game and then just kind of let it slip away. Asiata had 2 touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill threw 4 touchdowns. Lamar Miller had 90 yards and a touchdown. I think the Dolphins have a slim chance of possibly making it. We're going to go over that in a minute at the very end. The next game, Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh kept their... I think, is Kansas City out of it now? I think they might be out of it too. I mean, Jamal Charles was held in check. He had 29 yards rushing. It was basically kind of a stalemate. I mean, Le'Veon Bell only had 60 yards rushing. He had a touchdown though. Ben played a good game though. He threw for 200 yards, threw a touchdown, so he did his thing. Green Bay and Tampa Bay. I mean, I don't know what anybody was expecting from that. Aaron Rodgers didn't have the best game, and then he left with like a calf strain or something, but they were able to win the game. They did what they had to do. So, again, it's going to be a showdown between Detroit and Green Bay next week. That's going to be a damn good game. I'm excited to watch that one. Eddie Lacy was killing it, had 99 yards and a touchdown. Randall Cobb went off for 113. I mean, what can you say about Tampa Bay? They've just been bad all season. New York and St. Louis, again, a game that really didn't have any implications on anything. Eli Manning threw the ball 32 times. He had 3 touchdowns. Williams rushed for 110 yards. Odell Beckham Jr., again, 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has been absolutely killing it. Sean Hill had a good game, you know. I thought he had a pretty good game. Trey Mason and Tavon Austin, they had okay rushing games, but I mean, it's the Giants and the Rams. Dallas and Indianapolis. Dallas looked good. Dallas looks damn good. DeMarco does look banged up, though. I think the Colts just had a shitty game, so DeMarco was able to get away with it. Romo looked damn good. Andrew Luck is just not... The way he's been playing lately has not been doing good. He ended up getting benched. Hasselbeck came in and threw a touchdown, but Andrew Luck, I think he threw a pick 6. He threw 2 interceptions for only 100 yards. They didn't have... They had... Let's see. They had 1 yard rushing, I think. Yeah, they had 1 rushing yard. That's basically all there is to it. Oakland and Buffalo. Oakland was able to come back and get the win. Didn't they kick the game-winning field? I don't know. They did something, or did they get a save? They blocked a punt? I don't know. They did something where they came back and won. Kyle Orton, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Fred Jackson, again, they only had 13 yards rushing, so they didn't do much better. The Raiders were killing it. Derek Carr looked good. He threw for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Murray, the running back, he's looked good, which is kind of taking a load off of McFadden. He's able to chirp a little bit, so I like what they got going in Oakland. Will they ever make the playoffs? I'm sure at some point. Seattle and Arizona. That defense, man. That defense is the defense is doing the damn thing. Held them to 29 yards rushing, 187 yards passing. And it was Russell Wilson looked great. Marshawn, I still haven't even seen the run. I need to go look it up and watch it. Everyone keeps talking about it. Luke Wilson had 3 receptions for 139 and 2 touchdowns. And, I mean, they're going to win the division. They came back and won it. Arizona, again, couldn't hold on. Hopefully Arizona makes the playoffs. We'll see what happens. And the game I just got done watching, I don't know what's going on with Peyton Manning. He doesn't look good. The past couple of weeks, man, he has just slowly gone down, 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 and down. And they switch up their offense. They used to go, and I mean, you saw, if you were watching this game, they started the first quarter out, going back to the huddle, coming out on I form and handing the ball off with play action passing. And that's not what got them to where they were. And then in the second quarter and the third quarter, when they marched that comeback, they were going to hurry up. You know, they're running up to the line, throwing it downfield, hurry up, draw plays, hurry up, throwing it. And then they go back up under center again, and did he throw 3 picks? No, he threw 4 picks. And I think 3 of them went to Kirkpatrick. But I'm not sure. I'm trying to look it up to make sure. Drake Kirkpatrick had 2. He had a pick 6. Jones, Nelson, like it was just, I don't know. Peyton, like he looked like Peyton, and then he just fell back again. So they better get it going because they are not secured of a first-round bye. And if they slip up and lose next week, they're going to have to play in that wildcard game, and that would suck for them if they had to do that. The other 2 games, Patriots and Jets, I mean, it was ugly. The Jets and Rex Ryan always give us a hard time, but we were able to come away with the victory. Tom his stats were not very good. He only threw for 180 yards and a touchdown. He had a pick. Vereen, Bolden, Brady, Gray, we had a bunch of people, but again, LeGarrette Blount didn't touch the ball, so I don't know what they're doing up there. Brandon LaFell looked good. Amendola, Gronk, they're all killing it. Gino played good. I thought he had a good game. 17 completions for 210. Chris Ivory and Chris Johnson were okay. In the Falcons Saints game, the Saints are officially out of it. There's not much to say about the game. The Saints just overall looked bad. And then you have the showdown next week coming up between the Falcons and Carolina. So let's see what we got. Patriots have clinched a first-round bye, and they clinched home field because the Broncos lost tonight, and we beat them in the head-to-head. So we got first-round bye, and we clinched home field advantage. Let's see what else we got going here. The Broncos have clinched a playoff spot, or they clinched their division championship. So they're going to have a playoff spot. But they're not guaranteed that second seed because they just lost to the Bengals. So if the Bengals win next week and the Broncos lose, I think the Broncos are going to have to play that first wildcard game, and that would just overall suck. That would suck so much because right now the Bengals are 10-4, the Broncos are 11-4. Colts 10-5, Steelers 10-5. And then, so what, there's 6 spots? So right now, the Chargers have that 6th spot tied with the Ravens. So what we could end up having is right now it would be Bengals versus Chargers, Steelers versus Colts. And on the outside looking in, teams that still have a shot in the AFC are the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Texans. What are the matchups for next week? Let me see what the matchups are for next week. Who plays each other? The Bills play New England. We could bench everybody, really. I don't know how Bill's gonna play that game, honestly. So the Bills, I don't know how Belichick's gonna play that game, and then so the Bills might have a chance of making the playoffs. Baltimore plays Cleveland. Does Cleveland roll over? I mean, Baltimore's playing for a playoff spot. Does Cleveland roll over? I don't think they do. Houston plays Jacksonville, so I think they'll win that game. San Diego plays the Chiefs. Okay, so they might have a chance there. Damn, there's going to be some teams that have a chance here. And I wonder who's going to end up making it. Again, all those 8 and 7 teams sitting on the outside. So the Texans, Chiefs, Dolphins, and Bills. That's going to be a good matchup. Now, in the NFC, it's a lot clearer. I mean, they've clinched. The Seahawks have clinched. Lions clinched. Cowboys clinched. Basically, there's one spot in the playoffs, and it's either going to go to the Panthers or it's going to the Falcons. Whoever wins gets the last playoff spot. And then the game between the Lions and the Packers is just for seeding. So Panthers and Falcons play each other. Winner makes the playoffs. Loser goes home. Lions and Packers play each other. Winner gets the higher seed and most likely home field or first round bye. Loser is going to end up getting a wild card spot and having to play in the wild card game. Where is that Packers-Lions game? It's in Green Bay. Since it's in Green Bay, I'm going to say Green Bay wins it. That's just me, but that's it, guys. We got playoffs coming up, wild cards coming up. Let me know what you thought of this week. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell all your friends. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve, will be the gameplay, so be on the lookout for that. Unfortunately, I think I have a pack opening. Like one of my presents opens today, but I won't be back in town until the night of the 27th, so I'm going to be looking on videos so hard, looking at people's presents to see which ones I had and what's coming out of those presents. I want to know what's in that Ram stocking, and those elite badge gifts. Are we just getting one elite badge? Is it going to be just a badge pack like they gave us and they're not all guaranteed elites? Because y'all saw I got like 3 bronzes and 2 golds. I don't know how any of that's going to work out, but we'll see how it goes, guys. Hit the like button again, comment about the teams, the matchups, the playoffs, all that good stuff.